In today's video, we pay homage to the best superhero of all time ever, Batman, obviously. Feel free to leave us your thoughts on that statement in the comments below. Homage comes in the form of our top 10 favourite Batman comics. We've popped a few extras from the shortlist that didn't make the final 10 in the description. This is primarily Batman, so no Justice League, no Crisis on Infinite Earths. We start with The Killing Joke, written by Alan Moore and illustrated by Brian Bolland. The plot digs into an origin story for the Joker and is one of the most well-known standalone stories. It's dark, menacing, entirely what you'd expect from the character, and includes a pivotal moment for Barbara Gordon that shapes her character arc. This is the Joker at his nastiest. Again, a potential debatable statement, but it's certainly up there. Next up is The Long Halloween, my personal favourite. Written by Geoff and illustrated by Tim Sale. The plot centres around a series of murders, with the unknown killer being nicknamed Holiday. This is Batman at his most detective, which I think is where he's at his best. He is the world's greatest detective, after all. The series includes a great array of DC's finest, and Tim Sale's art is a perfect match for Geoff Loeb's writing. We couple that with Dark Victory, a sequel to The Long Halloween and another Loeb-Sale project. Catwoman When in Rome, another of the series, follows on from the events of this run. A new killer is on the loose, another crime to solve. As with The Long Halloween, Dark Victory packs in a lot of DC's central characters. The Falcones, Solomon Grundy, Two-Face, and the genesis of Dick Grayson as Robin. Dark Victory is a great companion to The Long Halloween, so I'd recommend reading them back to back. Our fourth offering is Hush, written again by Geoff Loeb and illustrated by Jim Lee. Hush is another of Batman's strong detective storylines, and it begins with Batman at his most vulnerable after a severe injury. Here the story digs into Bruce Wayne's history other than the death of his parents, an event familiar to us all, which adds an extra layer to the plot. We also get a neat cameo from Superman. An animated version of Hush was released in 2019, with Jason O'Mara voicing Batman. Year 1, written by Frank Miller and illustrated by David Mazzucchelli, follows Bruce Wayne during his first year as a vigilante Batman. Alongside Bruce Wayne, Jim Gordon is also explored in more depth, both his professional and personal life. It's interesting to see Batman's flaws and failures on display here as he sets out as a noob vigilante. There are some very human themes laid bare too, which makes for a very rich story. Corruption, adultery, batshit crazy action, pun wholeheartedly intended. As a side, an artist edition is due for release this summer. The Court of Owls, written by Scott Snyder and illustrated by Greg Capullo, featured in the New 52, a reboot of the DC universe launched in 2011. The story follows the battle of wits and horror between Batman and the Court of Owls, a secret society deeply embedded within Gotham City and its inhabitants. These are some really great villains because they're everywhere, in every secret, every corner, a finger in every pie. They pose a real threat to Batman, and the organisation features heavily across the various Batman narratives, Lego DC supervillains, for example. Onwards to the Doom That Came to Gotham, written by Mike Mignola and illustrated by Troy Nixie and Dennis Jank. This story features in one of our previous videos where we covered our top 10 horror graphic novels. This short Lovecraft-inspired series is eerie, unique, and a really bad day for Harvey Dent. Honestly, he has a hard time in this story, as do they all. Mike Mignola also wrote Gotham by Gaslight, another Elseworlds tale which featured on our shortlist for the video. Our next choice is quite a meaty beast. The Nightfall series ran between 1993 and 1994 and showcases the talents of multiple artists and writers. It's the one where Bane breaks Batman's back. It's not all you need to know, but this incident is the catalyst for the events of the series. By the end of Nightfall, both Batman and Gotham are significantly changed. There you go, ominous, vague. What more could you want in a plot summary? Bane is a great character, and his villainous tendencies are on full display here, a far cry from Batman and Robin. One day we'll forget the trauma of that movie, unlike George Clooney. A Death in the Family is an incredibly memorable story arc published in the 80s, written by Jim Starlin and illustrated by Jim Aparo, with Mignola again on cover art duty. If you've read this story, you'll know why it's memorable and impactful. It's not an easy feat, but for me this really did hit. Perhaps it's the title of the story arc? It encapsulates the heart of the story really well. When I said before that the Joker was at his nastiest in Killing Joke, this is on par. What a wanker. Lastly, we have Batman Reptilian, published under DC Black Label and written by Garth Ennis, illustrated by Liam Sharp. The story sees a creature tear through the belly of Gotham. It's down to the world's greatest detective to do some detectiving, and save the villains of Gotham. Yes, it's targeting the villains of Gotham. This is a shift, and a grisly one at that. It's a great turn from Killer Croc, who really should get more page time. We'd really love your Batman recommendations. There are a lot of stories and we haven't read them all, so let us know your favourites in the comments. Have fun storming the castle. Thanks very much for listening. If you'd like to contact us or check out what we've been up to, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. If you enjoyed the video today, please do like it, subscribe to the channel, and ding the bell to receive notifications about new videos. See you in the next one.